On the snowy coast of Frosty Bay, where chilly winds whistled across the icebergs and the sea shimmered like silver glass, lived a curious little penguin named Piko. Piko was smaller than the other penguins, with tiny flippers and big bright eyes that sparkled with wonder. Unlike his friends who loved sliding on ice and catching fish all day, Piko preferred to gaze at the night sky. Every evening, while others waddled home, Piko stayed on a snowy hill, watching the moon hanging like a giant glowing lantern above the sea. He often whispered to himself, "Do you think the moon is cold like ice, or warm like woolly mittens?" The other penguins would laugh when they heard him. "Oh, Piko, penguins don't go to the moon. We belong on the ice." But Piko believed otherwise. He felt a connection to that distant light, a feeling that told him there was something more out there. One night, as the full moon shone brighter than ever, something magical happened. A soft hum spread through the air, and the ocean began to glow. Out from the shimmering waves rose a sparkling sea creature, a moon whale, as bright as starlight. "Good evening, little penguin," the whale spoke gently, its voice like a soothing lullaby. "I have heard your whispers. I can take you to the moon, if you truly wish to go." Piko's heart fluttered with excitement. He could hardly believe his ears. "Yes, please. I want to see the moon up close." With a graceful splash, the moon whale lifted Piko onto its shimmering back. Together, they soared into the sky, leaving Frosty Bay far below. They flew past shining stars and glimmering clouds, climbing higher and higher until they reached the luminous surface of the moon. To Piko's surprise, the moon wasn't cold at all. It felt soft, like feathers, glowing beneath his tiny feet. The moon was covered in hills of glowing dust and shining crystal puddles. As Piko waddled around, sparkles floated into the air like snowflakes made of pure light. It was more beautiful than he had ever imagined. Suddenly, a quiet voice called out, "Hello there, little traveler." A tall white rabbit, glowing like silver, hopped forward. She introduced herself as Luna, the moonkeeper. "You're quite a brave penguin," Luna said kindly. "Not many dare to leave their home to chase curiosity, but I'm glad you came. The moon's glow is fading, and only someone with a brave heart can restore it. Would you like to help me?" Piko gulpet. He looked at his small flippers and felt a familiar wave of doubt. "Me, but I'm small. Very small." Luna smiled warmly. "Even the smallest spark can brighten the darkest sky. Your courage brought you here, and that is all you need." With Luna's guidance, Piko set off on his mission. He slid across moon craters, climbed shiny rocks, and found hidden moon seeds, forgotten crystals stuck in dark, dusty corners. Each time Piko found a seed and placed it into one of the glowing puddles, the entire moon brightened, like a lantern being polished from the inside out. With every seed he found, Piko felt a little bigger, a little stronger. At last, after finding the final seed, the moon glowed brighter than it had in ages, casting a brilliant, warm light across the cosmos. Luna bowed to him, her eyes filled with gratitude. "Piko, you've brought courage back to this moon. Please, take this gift." She handed him a shimmering feather made of pure moonlight. "Whenever you feel small or forgotten, hold this. It'll remind you of the brave heart you carry inside." Just then, the moon whale returned, ready to take Piko home. As they soared above the sea once more, Piko looked back and saw the moon wink warmly at him. Back in Frosty Bay, the other penguins stared in disbelief at the glowing feather in Piko's flipper. It shone with a light they had never seen before. Piko smiled proudly and said, "The moon isn't as far as you think. Not when you're brave enough to dream." From that day on, no one ever laughed at Piko's dreams again, because they had seen proof that even the smallest penguin could light up the world.